I don't know how I feel about Homer and Ned's Hail Mary pass. I don't think I agree with the IMDb rating. This is 6.3 out of 10, which for The Simpsons, even this stage of The Simpsons, is a pretty poor rating. I don't think it's that poor, but I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. But there were a few bits in it that I thought were okay. This is the 8th episode of the 16th season of The Simpsons, directed by David Silverman and Stephen Dean Moore. And Homer ends up doing this dance routine. Well, I say routine. He moves himself around and he goes on the internet, it becomes viral, and then these sports players start to ask him for help with their celebration dances that they do when they have a goal or score a point. Evidently, I know nothing about sports. I will say this means that we have a great guest appearances, some of whom I knew. I'm aware of LeBron James and Michelle Kwan. We also have various others who are guest voicing their own characters, which is always interesting, but apparently that wasn't enough to give this a good overall rating. I'm not into sports, I don't care about sports, so I did think that for sports fans it would either go one way or the other. It would either be highly rated or really poorly rated, and it looks like the latter is the one that won. And Homer gets bigger and bigger opportunities. I don't want to go into too much detail about what those opportunities are. I don't want to spoil it, but it was interesting enough. I didn't predict the direction it was going to take, so it kept me on my toes, I guess. But really, the sports aspect just meant nothing to me. So I don't know. I can't work out if it was not a bad episode, but if it was just a basic bland episode, or if it's because it just wasn't my kind of thing. I'm kind of on the fence with that one. I'm not really sure. But there was one moment that I loved. Comic book guy has a name. He's called Jeff Albertson. I don't know if that's ever been mentioned before in The Simpsons, but if it has, I've never, picked up on it. But yeah, comic book guy is called Jeff Albertson. Who knew? Probably a lot of people, and I didn't. But that made me smile. However, the episode used a word that I probably can't even say on YouTube, and I don't think it would use the word today. It's S-P-A double Z? S-P-A-Z? I don't even know how to spell it. I've never written it down, but yeah, it kind of took me by surprise that they would use that word so openly without any repercussions for the people who said it. So that was a little bit awkward, and I feel like things just went a little bit downhill from that point. Not rapidly, it wasn't terrible, but I don't know. That wasn't. Well, actually, Ned was producing biblical videos, which I nearly forgot to mention, and I rather enjoyed that. I thought that was fabulous. I don't quite understand why Marge had such a big problem with it. I feel like they tried to just put that in there to give her character something interesting to do or say. But honestly, I feel like the films were fine. They were interesting. They were maybe a bit more bloodthirsty than I would have expected from Ned, but they were actually really engaging, and I rather liked it. Also, Crazy Cat Lady was in this, and she was fabulous. So there were bits that I liked, but the main narrative, it didn't appeal to me personally. At the end of the day, I may not know exactly how I feel about it, but I do know that it's not my favourite episode.